Hey everybody, welcome back to Factorio Operation Lazy Bastard. I'm Joe Mama, your host. So it's been a little while since we did this series, just a little bit. But boy, a lot has happened, and I've gotten to the point where I want to execute a new design for our science labs. But I gotta tell you, my head is hurting right now. I'm seriously befuddled. This design by Catherine of Sky, it's neat, but man, it's janky as hell. But anyway, we'll get to that in just a minute. We're gonna make this work, I swear. But let's walk the perimeter, as my old commander used to say. Let's take a state of the factory tour. So we're up here, and this is new construction, as you can see. As you can see, I've got a lot of labs here, and we've got lots of cars circling the labs. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But when we last left off, we were working on wiping out some biters, and we wanted to exploit our iron and copper ore. So we had some patches over here that we wanted to explore, so we've gone ahead and done that. We've got our miners in place, and the ore is being dug up, and it's great. We're getting all kinds of great stuff. The train is currently sitting idle because as we discussed in that episode, we arranged our train stations. Go back to that other episode if you're wondering what we're talking about, but we arranged the train stations in such a way where when the crates are full, the train station shuts off. And when the train station shuts off, the trains that bring the ore to those stations basically have nowhere to go, so they sit at their stations until they're called for. And that's perfect, because that cuts down on the rail traffic, that cuts down on fuel usage, and it makes it safer to actually walk around. So that's kind of cool. Now the iron, yeah, we're using the iron, probably heavier than most, but isn't that always the way? The iron is now feeding, I think, a pretty awesome bank of... What have we got here? Oh, do we actually have... Yeah, that's right. We have 2 steel making furnaces. No, more than 2 furnaces. We've got 4 arrays of furnaces dedicated just to the production of steel. 2 making the iron plates and 2 turning those iron plates into steel. And we've got 8 arrays per copper and iron. So we've got 8 of copper, 8 of iron. Each array has 24 furnaces, so y'all can do the math on that one. My head is too old and slow, so I'm not going to do that at the moment, but lots of furnaces. Also, I don't know if I did this on camera or not, I can't remember, but we have massive power being produced by coal plants. So we've got coal and steam engines and so forth, and yeah, I've set up a laser there, because I think we had a bad guy get in there. So I just dropped one in there. And the coal is being brought in from another place for the sole purpose of just the power plant. And it actually supplements the coal here at the Bootstrap plant just a little bit. So it's not too shabby. I'm liking it. And but the best part is, now that we've got all of these furnaces making ore for us, we can start making science on a much greater scale. So if you take a look, the video I recently released showed how to make these green chip arrays. Each array is made up of 5 assembly machines, and you can see there's actually 8 arrays here. And that is supplying the green chips that's needed for the red chips. And the red chips are producing red chips for the blue science, as well as, let's see, we've got blue science and we've got engines. So we're doing really well, I think. We're producing lots and lots of science. And I think it's time that we start concentrating on our science lab. So let's get back to this, shall we? So here's the problem. Okay, let me refresh how this design works. Rather than, if you remember from my previous episode, which, by the way, can I just say that if you're new, if you've subscribed in the last... Actually, if you've subscribed at all, thank you. But especially you guys who subscribed in just the last couple days, we've hit 40 subs. And you know what? That's That's pretty awesome. It's a nice round number, and it. I was getting a little discouraged that sitting at 36 for a long time, but you know what? You guys brought us to 40. Maybe we can get to 50 if people like the videos, and that's on me. If I can make decent content, hopefully we can increase the size of the community. So thank you guys for doing that. Plus, I'm going to point this out that this video I recently released, let's see, it was released about 18 hours ago, and it's currently sitting at 97 views. So I'm pretty impressed by that, because I don't think I've ever had a video that wasn't a stream that exceeded 100 viewers in 24 hours. So if 3 more people look at it, which is highly likely, in the next 6 hours, then we'll break into the triple digits, and in 24 hours. That's never happened for me. So thank you guys for your interest in this channel. It's all because of you. All right, so let's discuss this jankiness here. In the previous episode, we kind of discussed it, but I've set up a timer right here. Basically, this is just a timer, and this belt right here, once it detects something, and in this case, it scans the belt contents, it detects an item. I've got this little plastic bar running around, and it sends a signal to all the other networked belt sections. There's one in front of each laboratory, and every time this passes underneath this particular scanner, it sends a signal on this red wire to release the contents of whatever these other belts are. So that's why you're seeing these cars pause and then go, and then pause and then go. And if you look over here, you can see what's under them, what's stopping them. Let's see, what do we have this on? Oh, enable and disable. When it receives a signal greater than 0 of plastic, then which it will. Let's see, what's a good example? Yep, if we hold our cursor over this utility pole that distributes the signal from the plastic bar, you're going to see it blinks. Every so often, a little plastic bar signal comes through, and that signal is the go-ahead for all these other belts to unlock and release their contents. So what are they releasing? What's with the cars? So of course, as we discussed in the previous video, the top 15 video, one of the hardest parts of this game is coming up with a decent design so that all 7 science types can be accessed by every science lab. So what we're trying to do is, rather than have 4 belts that can be double loaded, because each belt can have 2 items, can have 2 separate feeds on it side by side, what we're going to do is we're going to have 1 belt carrying a car. And if we look at the car, look at that inventory right there. A car full of cars. That's kind of funny. But look at the inventory. Why can't that hold science? Right? Why can't that... Oops, we got some loose red science going around. What can happen is these cars will come around the belt, and then we'll have these inserters insert science packs into the cars, and then as the cars pass in front of the labs will pull the science out of the cars. Now, because of this, each car has this inventory. Each car can hold lots of science packs of all colors. So one belt can theoretically hold pockets of seven different science packs, and so the lab just needs to pick from the car what it needs based on whatever it's researching at the time. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, here's the problem. The problem is those cars have to be perfectly aligned on that belt. Otherwise, they will get hung up on these inserters. Another problem is, like, I had inserters right here, and what they were doing is, rather than taking the science and putting them onto the cars, they were taking the science and putting them onto the belts. And that we don't want, because that defeats the whole purpose of having the cars there to begin with. So the key that I'm realizing we have to deal with, the key aspect here is we have to figure out how we can put items into the cars without putting them on the belts. I think I have the answer. And again, I want to give credit to, I saw it on Catherine of Sky. I saw one of her videos, and she did this, but I didn't pay attention to the nuances of exactly how she did it, and I jiggered myself all up. So these cars were going around the belt. If there's any items, you need to leave clearance of like one space all around the car, or it won't go through. So the car will jam up, and all the other cars will jam up and throw them out of alignment, and then they'll get hung up on other things. I can't even begin to describe it. Actually, maybe I can. Let's grab a belt, and let's see if I can illustrate the problem for you. And see if we can do this. So if we take a couple of cars, let's see. See, will they hang up on each other? Let's see if we can fit a fifth one there. No, seems to be okay. But now, watch if I do this. If I get too close to the belt, and they start to build up. Did you see how this car slowly got pushed to the side? So it's out of alignment now. So if there's any kind of traffic jam, as it were, on the belt, it throws all the cars out of alignment, and they will no longer pass through all the gaps along the way. And it's important that these cars pass along this belt unimpeded, but yet these inserters can still put science packs in the cars. Now here's where we have to be creative. Notice that if I hold the cursor right on the belt, you can see it selects the belt. So the cursor is seeing the belt. And if there's a belt there, that is where the inserter will put it. But now if I have the inserter here, so it actually places something on the ground, but the car comes through. Let's see, wait till a car comes through. I'll hold the cursor on the ground, but watch. I think the car will light up. Yeah, the car will light up. So that means that there is a place that the inserters can place the science packs where if there's a car there, then it'll go into the car. But it won't put them on the belt. And that's the key. We have to leave space. The car is wider than the belt. It overhangs the ground, and that overhang is going to be our key to putting science in the cars. So I've got these 3 science feeds. So let's go ahead and set the feeds up if we can. And I'd like to use green inserters for this because they're stack inserters, and we're going to space them 2 apart. Let's see. I shouldn't say 2 apart. The 3 apart with a gap of 2 in between. Hopefully that makes sense. And we'll put the crates there. I'm going to take that. And now we're going to bring this green belt there, or this red belt here, to put the green science here. Okay, that's obviously going to put some into the cars, and that's going to work perfect. So let's do the same for the red science. We'll bring the red science. Oh, come on. Bring the red science to another one of these crates. Okay, this should put red science in there also, right? Yeah, buddy. Okay, fantastic. Now, let's see if we can do the same with the blue science, which we should be able to do. And notice the cars are flowing freely at the moment. Okay, again, we've got some loose science packs floating around the belt. That's not really good. And do I have a... No, I don't. I guess it's not really necessary. Alright, so we should start seeing... Okay, I would imagine we'll start seeing green science. My worker robot speed. What's required for worker robot speed? Let's find out. It should be blue science. So why is blue science not coming out of the science labs? Why are the sciences not coming out of the science labs? Could it be... interesting. Now it makes me wonder. Aw, nuts. Could it be... I might need to do the same thing as far as having the inserters pull from the ground rather than the belt. Is that going to work for us? Let's see. Will this work? Yes! Yes, bam, good. Good. Okay, so we've got this solved. We've got this. See, this inserter right here, all these inserters, they detect that there's a belt underneath, but they can't tell that there's a car there. They're concentrating on the belt. So what we need to do is move the labs over so that the inserters do not pull. Or, you know what we could do? Better yet, we could use red inserters. We could use long-armed inserters. Oh no, but you know what? Long-armed inserters might actually block the belt. That would be bad. That would be bad. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove all of these science labs, and we're going to place them on the outside of the rim, the outside of the belt. Again, I appreciate your indulgence and your patience at this time, because this is just as much of a learning experience for me as entertainment is for you, as it is entertainment. So anyway, yes, we're going to pull all these labs up, and we're going to place them outside of the loop. And I'll come back in a little bit, and we'll have that done. Probably means I'll have to relocate those substations too. Nice. As you can see, all of our labs are placed properly now. And we've got lights, we've got all the labs are loaded with science. They loaded that themselves, so that means the placement is good. So we just need to start putting cars in places where there aren't any. Basically fill the gaps. And in order to do this, we want to make sure our alignment is just right. And right about there, I think. Okay. So if we can just hold that position right there. Okay, did we get them all? Did we actually get all the gaps? You know what? That's good enough. That's good enough. Oh, that is too crazy. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all those cars. Okay, so I think the best way to test this out is to run some science. How about that? Let's do it. I was going to put some of these pausing pads, these underneath these cars, but I think this is actually good. I think the stack inserters put just enough in there, because really, they really only need to have enough in there to feed, say, one lab per circuit. Really. I mean, and there's tons in there right now. There's plenty. So let's go ahead and run some science, shall we? So let's hit the tech tree. Worker robot speed has picked up. Let's pick another one. Let's see, what would be a good one? How about advanced electronics 2? This is going to give us the green. Oh, no. Inserter capacity bonus. That's actually going to increase the ability of our inserters to put science into the science lab. So yes, let's do that. And start research. And this should probably, look how fast that's going now. This should go fairly quickly. And actually, while we're doing that, since science is being produced at such a clip, let's take a look at our power usage. 80 megawatts out of 120. So we are at 75% capacity. And let's take a look at the map, and let's see if any of our science labs are actually running out and not operating. That would be important to know. And it seems like they're all operating just fine. And if they need science, they're pulling it out of whatever car is passing by. So that is perfect. It's doing the job. There's enough reserve sciences in each of these cars. Look at that. 4 types of science. How about that? Actually, some of them might even have 5. Because we have a little bit of purple science left over. Outstanding. So now we should have increased inserter capacity, which means everything's going to be loaded a lot faster. Let's go ahead and give one other type of science maybe before we call it quits. Inserter capacity bonus 4, but we don't have enough purple science. Let's see. Oh. How about nuclear fuel processing? No, we already have nuclear power. Oh, okay. We already have it. When did that happen? Shows you how much I pay attention. That's kind of sad. I should have been doing that a long time ago. Okay, good. Then I think we'll go ahead and do blue chips. And I think what will end up happening is that I will, off camera, work on purple science and possibly military science. We have manually loaded factories to do both, but obviously we want to automate it. So that's what we're going to do. And I think we're going to do that next time. Okay, hold on just 1 minute. We had to make one final change to this before we can call it done. You know what? I'm actually going to start another research. Okay, so as you can see, we've only got 3 sciences up and running here. And because of that, because we've only got 3 sciences up and running, that means that there are potentially 4 slots in this car that could be used for the other 4 sciences that we haven't run up here yet. So right now, if I were to just leave this alone and let it run for hours, all these cars would fill with just those 3 sciences. And then if, depending on how long that happened, by the time we could put a 4th, 5th, 6th, and a 7th science in, the cars would be completely loaded and there would be no room. So what we're going to do, what I have done actually is, let me see if I can find one of these cars, is I have put placeholders right here, iron, copper, stone, and coal, in each of these cars so that at least 1 slot is available for each of the sciences that have not made it up here yet. So, yay, all right, worker cargo finished. Oh, wow, did that go fast? I didn't notice. How fast did that go? Let's go ahead and do, what can we do? Something that, how about rocket fuel? Yeah, let's do rocket fuel. Start research. Yeah, let's do it. So, so that way, when the time comes, there'll be plenty of room that we can just basically just pull those things out of the cars and then replace them with the sciences. So hopefully that works. And also, so they're not blinking about not having any fuel. We put fuel in all the cars, so they're just not blinking. I gotta say, it works pretty well. It seems to be working well. There's been no traffic jams, pardon the pun, but it's so janky to set up. I'm not quite sure I'm exactly sold on this over my other idea, but you know what? It is what it is, and it seems to be working, and it's kind of nice to try something new. I ain't gonna lie. That's kind of cool that we could try something new. I like it. Oh, and by the way, we did in fact reach 100,000, or not 100,000, we reached 100 views within 24 hours. It actually was within 18 hours. Within 18 hours, we reached 100 views for that latest video we released. So, and 5 new subscribers. So welcome to the club, guys. And yeah, it's pretty cool. That's the first time ever a video that I've released that's not a stream got at least 100 views within 24 hours. So very cool. All right, guys. Well, anyway, that will do it for this episode. And next time, we'll try to see if we can get the other sciences up and running, and see what happens then. All right. So y'all have a wonderful day. And be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. I'd sure appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao.
Thank you.